Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Hey. All right. Man, my views are down hard. I think Reddit was helping a lot, but I just do this for fun. So, So I made this little quick channel, quick goal guide. I took one player from each team. It says Steve favorite goal scorers. I just took one from each team. I mean, obviously, there's other teams where you can easily pick another guy. Like you can take Austin Matthews and the Leafs. I will say one thing, and this is all in hindsight. Like that, I made a three-legger with Connor McDavid on, I don't even know what was that, Wednesday. And honestly, with McDavid, he's not really a guy to look for goals. He's a pass first guy. He wants to make his teammates better. And I think the way he plays, his style is if he is given the opportunity for a goal, obviously he'll take it, but he's more of the guy to pass. So I will say for McDavid is I don't think he's a very good option for goals. He's better for like 2 or 3 points if you want like juicier odds, or even 2 or 3 assists. Because I feel like he should be more selfish. Like they shouldn't have lost that game against the Flames. That's unacceptable. You know, you go up 3-0 and you lose in a shootout. Like, come on, like that's just unacceptable. So this is a quick reference guide. There's 16 games on. I think this is literally every team. I think is playing on Saturday. Obviously, there's no games today on Friday. This is like. I think it's either all the same guys. It's similar guys at least, or it's all the same guys I put on that list. This is just a quick reference thing. This is by no means. I know some people are going to be like a 16-leg parlay. You can't even really make this. $1 pays $9 million, and the max you can win is $1 million. So I don't even think you can put 10 cents on this, can you? Oh, you can. There you go. 10 cents to win 925,000. But yeah, this is just. There's no way this would happen. It's like. It's not impossible, but it's impossible. There. I said it. So the Jets and Stars played on Thursday, and on paper you're thinking like, oh, it's 2 really good teams. Maybe it'll be low scoring. Of course, it was like 9 goals. This is what I'm going to say for hockey. I don't care anymore. It's kind of like baseball weather. I almost don't care anymore. I'm just going to take my favorite guys, and that's it. Like, I don't care who they're playing, because for all we know, the Jets will get shut out by the Blackhawks. That's just how random sports are, you know. It's too hard to predict what's actually going to happen. So, it is what it is, as they say. But Connor had a hat trick. He had 2 late goals in that game, and they lost 5-4. But he's just really good at hockey, so you take him, you know. And what my main focus is going to be on my picks are, I'm going to pick, my favorite guys. Like, I like Jordan, but in this game, it's like, it's not a game I have to choose from. Some of these you can skip, but, like, obviously the Blackhawks are bad, so Cole's a good pick. But if I was, like, really going, like, deep and, like, picked my favorite guys, it would look something like this for a 3-legger. If you want to add someone to it, maybe a couple more. Somebody, I think, hit a 5-legger in my Discord, and he said it was based on my research. Like, he just took 5 guys that I said I really liked, and he won. Like, something like this. This would be hard to hit. Is it realistic? Sure. These 5 guys could very well score in these games, you know? And it's plus 7,000. So, like, $5, you went over $300. Like, that's, $383. That's a good deal there. We always assume, keep in mind, I don't really like parlays. We always assume they're going to lose. I know a lot of people cry when they lose by 1 leg. That's just the nature of parlays. Just understand you're going to lose 99.9% of your parlays. Maybe if you're like realistic, I mean, obviously singles are my favorite type of bet. If you did like Connor and Nylander, okay, and I put 50 to $100 on that, I'd feel better about that than putting $5 on a 10-legger, So that's all I'm going to say. I did leave Kirill out of my... I didn't want to go like insanely chalky on this list. I know a lot of these guys are very chalky. Tage is the best Saber guy. Kachuk is the best Senator scorer. Point and Kucherov are like, neck and neck. Obviously, Pastrnak is the best on the Bruins for scoring, but like, I can't go too like south. Like, and I said for the Ducks, like Frank Vetrano. Like, come on. Like, who do you really pick on the Ducks? I don't know. I like Leo Carlson. I don't know. It's hard to pick them. And then the Oilers, they have a lot of good scorers. The Kings have a ton. They got Byfield. They got Kempe. They're very, heavy team where you can almost go anywhere and feel good about it. And the Sharks and the even the Kraken with all their, they got Marchment now, who I already liked on the Stars. So now that he's going to be a more main focal point on a team, I like him a lot. And he did score on Thursday. So, and then Pavel's been amazing. I mean, this guy should probably be in like every single parlay that you make until he cools off or whatever. I mean, you just feel good about it. And his odds are still plus 200. So it's like, okay, sure, why not? Like those are great odds for such a good goal scorer. And a Draisaitl is obvious too, and blah, blah, blah. So going game by game again. I mean, this is probably going to be a broken record. I won't make too many hockey video or like every day. I'll probably do like the bigger slates. But I already mentioned Connor. Marky Mark is a good pick too. I did mention that this is like a good two-legger. These guys like to score in the same games. Could be something to wait on just because we don't know how different the team is without Ehlers, but still a good look. And then, like I said, the Kings are like Fiala, Kempe, Byfield. Fiala, I mentioned he's really good on the power play, and his first goal of the year was on the power play. So very good power play player. And I also did mention that with, not to get sidetracked, but Reinhardt hasn't scored yet this year. And I mean, I guess I can just pull it up for you guys. And like I said, he'll score even strength goals, but he's better on the power play. And I'm sure more. Well, let's just look before I assume anything. Stats. So PPG is power play goals, right? So he actually only had 13 last year, but his goals were down too from the year before. He had 57 and 39, which is pretty substantial if you're betting on someone like that. He did play 3 less games too. He did have more assists. He had 5 more assists. So did he have more points? No. So he had 13 power play goals last year, and he had 27 the year before. 27 of his 57. So he had 30 even strength goals. And then last year he had what? I'm terrible at math. 30, 20, 29, 26. He had 26 even strength goals. So, yeah. I'm just saying, like, there are better options than Reinhardt. But he is very good. I'm not saying don't take him. He's very good. So, just to kind of illustrate what I'm saying, who's mentioning me? Oh, it's admin. Luce, I'm going to call you out on this. If you're watching this, don't ever call anything safe. There's nothing safe in a parlay there. I'm so anti-parlay that it just drives me nuts when people say this is safer. Also, I probably should make a separate video on this, but I just a lot of thoughts that I've had recently where I see a lot of people taking like, here, especially in NFL, you're kind of robbing yourself when you do like an alt line. I would not do alt lines. Just take their line. Take the over or the under. Take it. You're taking money off the table when you do an alt line. Like minus 11. Like, first of all, never ever add a minus 1100 money line, alt passing yards, whatever it is. If Bo Nix gets hurt in the first quarter and he has 27 passing yards, you just gypped yourself anyway of a minus 1100. But like, yeah, sure, he won't hit this one either. But you're killing your odds already. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. You really should not be putting alt lines. The only thing I will say, my favorite type of alt lines is literally a half point. When I think I've already mentioned this in one of my videos, but if I can find it. if you're, well, the Broncos are -7, right? So what would you do? You would outline that to 6.5. Because if they win by a touchdown, what's the point? You're pushing, right? So all line it to 6.5, and it's probably going to be like -150. At least you're still giving yourself some room to make some, extra money. Although I do also say don't put money lines or spreads in player prop parlays. Please just make it a player prop parlay. That's what it's called, right? All right. Sorry for getting sidetracked, but there's so many things I can talk about that people make mistakes with that just drive me crazy. And I guess if you want an example in hockey, and you could do the same thing here. You go shots on goal, right? So Kempe's -122 for 3. What is he for 2? -415. What's like? I will show you the difference. So we'll do him and Fiala. Can you parlay that? You can. Okay. It's -174 for the 2-legger. Okay. What is it for their normal odds? +202. You see the difference? That is a massive, massive difference. I understand you could lose by 1 if they only get 2 each, but you're just gypping yourself. You have to bet so much more money to make anything on that. Like, why? I just don't understand the point of it. And if you want to juice it, I'd rather you just do this. Take the 470, and then add like Fiala 2 in there. Or, I mean, 3. At least on that, now you're at +777. Hey, there you go. Jackpot, right? Oh, maybe that's a sign. Someone's going to bet that now. But just other things to think about when you're tossing in alternate type props in there. Shots, yeah. And here's their normal shots on goal. So Trevor Moore his under is plus, is obviously his over is 1.5. But I see a lot of alt lines out there, and I don't agree with it. And I've even read stuff on it where they say you are, I don't remember the word they use, but you're ripping yourself off by doing a bunch of alt lines. And people love doing it in football, absolutely love doing it. But look, even when you alt line 50 yards and they get 49, but their original line was 70, you still lost, right? So, I mean, it just looks worse. It looks worse to your brain. You're thinking to yourself, oh, well, now I'm so close. But you're not. You're not close. You weren't close. You just lost. That's how I look at it. You either win or you lose on a parlay. There's no close. All right. So obviously I like Connor. I think this actually should be a lower scoring game, but it's just hard. I just don't, like I said, I don't care anymore. I'm just take the guy. Take your favorite guy. Like if I'm going with my absolute favorites on this slate, I'm just going to kind of skip around and I'll show you who I like a lot. Carolina versus the Flyers. I do like Mitchkov and Travis. It's just, I think the Flyers are going to be really bad this year, so it's going to be tough to pick them. There are teams where I'm just going to simply avoid them. The Rangers came to life on Thursday. Their goalie is good, and he proved it on Thursday. I think they shut him out. Which shutouts in hockey these days are rare. They actually changed their rules years and years ago to make the games higher scoring. So when you see a shutout these days, it's pretty rare. Oh, excuse me. And then Capitals are so, like, they're easy and hard at the same time to get right. Like, I just feel like Ovechkin's just getting old. I don't know what he's going to end up doing this year. I don't like these odds for him, +130. It just feels dirty. Because you can go Wilson or Strome, even McMichael. Like, McMichael for +320 is really nice. Protoss for 370 is really nice. But I guess since I'm not confident, I'll just avoid that. And then the Wild, they looked really good their first game. I mentioned Hartman in my video, and he scored 2 goals, I believe. So he's solid. Eriksson X scored. Who am I looking for here? Boldy. I still like my guy Boldy. You can go Boldy or Cap. Cap's gonna score eventually. He'll get a hat trick eventually too. He's just really good. Why don't we just go with Cap since he hasn't scored yet this year? These guys want, they want their stats. He's gonna look to score. I mentioned Gunther. He scored on Thursday. A lot of the guys that I really really liked scored. McKinnon obviously scored. Johnston scored. My guy, like these Avalanche Stars games, they're going to be higher scoring than you think too. They're going to be pretty high scoring games. And then, as far as I think the Oilers have a bounce back game here against the Canucks, they should have a pretty good game here. You can always take Leon. This is not a parlay, by the way. I'm just kind of going over. I'm kind of skipping over the games that I don't feel confident on. Gotta go with my guy Pavel, and then who I don't like this game at all. So keep in mind, kind of West Coast type games are just kind of meh. It kind of felt the same in baseball. This year, baseball West Coast games actually weren't bad, but hockey for sure. For whatever reason, the West Coast games tend to kind of fall off. But we'll see. I do like the Saturday slate though. Obviously, it's every freaking game. Like, there's so many choices. You can even throw Bedard in there too. So anyway, we will go. So an actual parlay where I feel super duper confident would be the Red Wings looked so bad. Their defense was non-existent. This feels like a game where you can stack the team. So let's do that after. But I'm only going to take, I just feel like taking Drysdale off because of his odds, but I do like him. We'll take off Gunther. We'll take off Cap. I want to do a 3 or a 4-legger. You know what? I'll just take off Pavel. This is a West Coast game. I guess what we'll do is if you want a juiced parlay, go with this. And then if anything, take off Pasternak and then go with this 4-legger. And then if you want to take one of these guys off, I would go, boy, that's I like all these guys so much. Connor, we'll go Connor. Because this game in my brain says it's going to be low scoring, but I'm Connor's so matchup proof, it doesn't matter. So this is the 4-legger, and then this would be my favorite 3-legger. This would be like my top 3 for Saturday. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this because I don't want to forget. 3, desktop, save, exit, gone. Okay, so the Red Wings looked so terrible, and right now, aside from the obvious two, and maybe what you would do in this game also is take either Matthews or Nylander for 2, and then parlay Matthews for 1. Or there's a lot of ways you can do this. Oh, they don't show points yet. It's too early for points to be listed. You do like Matthews for 2 points with Nylander 2 goals, something like that. And that could juice it up real good. I don't know what his 2 points are going to look like. Oh, and then obviously there's Tavares too. So my top 3 for 1 goal would be these 3, and that's plus 1338. So I like that as like a teammate parlay that I'm going to also take a screenshot of. Teammate. Yeah, I don't have anything exciting on here. And then this does feel like a good game where you can take any of these 3 for 2 goals. And then also if you want to take any of them off and combine them with someone else, I would do Knees or McMahon scored in his first game, so maybe he'll keep it going. And then if you want a long shot, Joshua, Morgan Riley, something like that, are decent long shots. But these are so hard to guess. Like you can even do Brandon Carlo for plus 1900. I mentioned this kind of annoyed me because he's a guy, he's hard to take, and I wouldn't take him against the Panthers, but I mentioned Zub in my video the other day at plus 1,300, and of course he scored in the first game of the year. Oh, Zubby Zub. He just, some of these guys have special places in my heart after they won me a bunch of money, so it's fun to look at. I still like the Stars. They looked good aside from they let the Jets come back and they made it interesting, but I'm surprised the Panthers are still the favorite despite all their injuries. I mean, obviously when Matthew Tkachuk comes back, they'll still be, and they're still good. They just have a solid team. The Oilers, I don't get why they're plus 800. Even the Hurricanes, I don't really get it, but I'm not exactly the super most knowledgeable about like how they put those odds up. I just know who scores goals and gets points. So pretty quick video. Why don't we? So today, if you watch this today, the game is in 5 hours, whatever, a little bit less. I already made a parlay on my Reddit, or I'm sorry, on my Discord. Why did I say that? And it's super chalky. It's just Polanco and Carpenter, because they both have super good numbers off the pitchers that they're facing. Polanco, I have less faith in just because he's facing Skubal. But the way baseball works is the more players see a pitcher over and over and over again, they tend to hit them better. And they just saw him like 4 or 5 days ago. So it's completely plausible that he hits another home run today. I don't know. Let's see if the lineups are out yet. One other thing. Damn it, they're not. I'll try something real quick. Oh, wait. I just have to click on this. So keep in mind also, this is the game that they face Skubal in. The only 2 runs, well, actually, I lied. They scored 3 and won the game. The only 2 runs prior to this was Polanco's 2 home runs. So they did, both teams struggle in this game. How did they score? Torkelson double in the 8th. Okay. And then Rodriguez won it with a double. So it's a hard game to predict. I do like the under. The under is actually plus money on FanDuel, but it is 5.5. So it's kind of gutsy to take that. It's hard to take such a low over under. But look at the Dodgers Phillies game. It ended 2-1, and the Dodgers literally didn't even get a hit to score a run. They got a walk, and I don't know. Did they call that an error? I honestly don't even know. Let's see. I don't know if they called it an error by the pitcher. Yeah, he didn't even get an earned run because they called it an error. Kim scored on error. Yeah. And the reason why it's an error is because if he went to first and he would have gotten the runner on first out. If he had no chance to get either runner out, they probably would have called it a hit. And it wouldn't have been an error. But the Dodgers didn't even score on a hit in this game, and they won the game. So they need to, whether they face the Cubs or the Brewers, they need to figure that out. And their bullpen. So don't sleep on either of these teams. If obviously I want the Cubs to win because I'm a Cubs fan. They looked really good on Thursday. So I'm hoping they can stay hot. But I'm not going to pick anyone in this game because I don't like betting on my team or against my team. I don't mind home runs in this game. It could be okay. But yeah, that's a tough one. And then the Dodgers odds are ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't see them beating the Jays if they face them in the World Series, but they need to make the World Series first. And their bullpen, you've seen how they've used the bullpen. They can't really use Kershaw. So it's like, unless they're just trying to save arms for later because they're already losing the game like 10-2, That's the only way they can use Kershaw. He looks terrible. So yeah. This will be interesting. If the Cubs win, I'm going to give them a better chance than I fully expected when they entered the playoffs, because I didn't really give them much of a chance. But if they can beat the Brewers, I actually am going to like them a lot more. I just feel like right now the Jays should be the favorite, in my opinion, because I like the Phillies. They got eliminated. I still like the Mariners if they can beat the Tigers. It's such a crapshoot right now, which is probably why they like, the way they price these odds is because they know people are going to bet the Dodgers if they're like plus 400, and then if they win, they're going to get screwed. Like, they're going to lose so much money. So they have to price the Dodgers really low. Otherwise, if they did pull it off, FanDuel's going to lose a lot of money, or whatever book. Vegas. Oh, I don't know why I'm coughing. All right, I think I did enough ranting. But remember, don't alt-line too much. The only thing I will agree with you on alt-lining. Why couldn't I find it? Where is it? I don't think they have them up yet. I think that's why. Or do they? First half. Here, alternate spread. Okay. Minus 6.5 for the Broncos would be... All right, so you go from minus 112 to minus 130. See that? The difference, like, if you bet $25 on that, we're talking a $3 difference. So I feel like that's worth it to avoid the push. See if they won by 7. What was minus 5? And I mean, the most generally, because sometimes I do alt lines for NBA on spreads. Like, if a team's minus 1100, I'm not going to take that, right? So I'd rather alt line the spread to make it more reasonable if I want to. But usually I try to avoid minus 200. So like 4.5. But I just don't feel there's really a need to go down to that in a game like this. But the Broncos should win this game pretty easily, I would think, even though it's on the road. Oh, wait, this game's in London, right? Yeah, or wherever it is, some other country. So it's not really a true home game for the Jets. But anyway, I think I've ranted and raved enough, but I just want to kind of get that out there for guys. Like, what is alt passing yards? Minus 166. See the difference in this, though? So if you're going to go from minus 166, which is you're going to win $15 on that bet, instead 25 yards, now you win $7. Like, that's completely not worth it. I'll give better examples. I'll make like a huge parlay and I'll show you the difference, or just do it on your own. Make a huge 20 leg, whatever you do, a 10 leg parlay with rushing yards, passing yards, whatever you do, and alt line it and remove one and add one and look at the difference in the payout. If you're winning, if the payout's a $5 difference, you shouldn't be adding that minus 1100 or whatever it is in there. Like, you really need to illustrate it, and you'll see why I'm telling you these things. I'm not making this shit up. Like, I'm trying to help you guys win money. So cool. Well, I hope you all. I'm trying to make this video a little longer, but there's so many things I can go over. I don't even know what to say. Maybe tomorrow I'll make a video for football and hockey for Sunday. I think that's fair. Yeah? What do you guys think? All right. Well, if you do join the Discord, which I will put in the description, which once again, everything I do is absolutely 100,000 bazillion. Everything I give is free. I guess the last thing I'll say is there is the subscription thing that I have, and it's this coffee supporter. It's just to support me, just what I'm doing. I know I say everything's free, but this is solely optional. I don't care if you do this. You can do it if you want. I need to hit $100 for them to pay me, and I'm at like 50 something. So I need like 10 more people to actually 9. I'm at 11 right now. So I need 9 more people to sub. So all I'm doing is asking, like, I'll even prove it. Like, see, and don't pay attention to this, but I have 11 right now. Cat's wheezing. But yeah, see, they defer it until I make $100. They defer it every time. So if anyone wants to do that, I know I have a lot of regulars in my server, but I'm not telling you need to do this. I'll put and you can only subscribe to Discord on a computer, and then I think certain countries can't even do it. So they have really strict things, and it sucks. But what can you do? You can't do it on mobile though. All right. Well, y'all have a fantastic day. Have a good evening. Have a good morning wherever you live. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace.